Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into a seriously fascinating business strategy laid out by entrepreneur Sandeep Maheshwari. We are going to decode exactly how to take a grueling, low-ceiling freelance hustle and completely transform it into an exponential, highly lucrative brand. So if you've ever felt like you're just running on a hamster wheel, working incredibly hard but constantly hitting this invisible wall with your income, well, the insights we're about to unpack are absolutely crucial for you.
So let's start with a really relatable, honestly pretty grueling reality from the source material. We're introduced to a freelance math teacher who is doing exactly what so many digital freelancers do, right? Chasing those high-paying clients in entirely opposite time zones. She was targeting students in the US and Canada. And as she so bluntly put it, she used to stay awake throughout the entire night, literally creating a hell out of her health just to accommodate those international hours. She was sacrificing her own physical well-being just to keep the business afloat. 60,000 rupees. That was the absolute peak of her monthly earnings during that incredibly high-stress period. It was a hard cap. And then the market shifted. Her client base became highly localized to India, and that number totally plummeted, dropping to around 25 to 30,000 rupees a month. So she's working just as hard, if not harder, but the financial returns, they just weren't scaling.
Section 1, the time for money trap. Here is the underlying issue with the gig economy. It's a mathematical wall. Even if she charges a premium rate, let's say $20 an hour, which is roughly 1,000 rupees, she faces a strict, undeniable ceiling on what she can earn. Sandeep breaks the math down simply. A human being can realistically only teach a maximum of 5 high-quality classes a day. That caps her earning potential at roughly 1 lakh a month. But honestly, worse than the financial cap is the complete lack of security. If she gets sick or has a personal emergency and can't conduct those live classes, her income instantly drops to zero.
The contrast here is just staggering. On one side, you have the old way, the exhausting gig economy grind. You know the drill, begging for clients, firing off cold demo emails, and desperately trying to maintain your star ratings on these crowded teaching portals where, let's be real, you're basically treated as a commodity. But the new way? It's a total paradigm shift. It's about ditching the hourly rate altogether to build a true personal brand. That is how you unlock exponential income, where the platforms actually come chasing after you.
Section 2, blinded by past experiences.
You know how our past wins can ironically become the very things holding us back? Sandeep points out a massive structural flaw in her thinking. She is desperately clinging to this online portal business model simply because it worked for her in the past. It is basic human nature to base our future goals on past data, right? But that drastically narrows our vision. She's trying to replicate a model that thrived during the very specific, isolated conditions of the global lockdown, completely missing the fact that the market has fundamentally moved on.
This is just a brilliant illustration of macro market dynamics. Think about it. We went from normal operations to a 100% online boom during the COVID-19 era. That temporary boom totally skewed our perception of reality. Present day, there's an aggressive shift back to offline and hybrid models. The tech founders of these massive educational startups are rapidly opening physical centers again. If you're building your entire business on the temporary online boom era, you are literally building on a shrinking foundation. Trying to force a 2020 online model into today's market is a guaranteed recipe for stagnation.
Section 3, building a star brand.
Now, a star teacher is a completely different beast than a freelancer. When you establish yourself as a star in your space, the entire power dynamic flips. You weren't the one emailing platforms begging for a job. Instead, massive coaching institutes who are constantly in fierce competition with each other will aggressively seek you out. Because here's the secret. They don't just want a teacher. They can find a teacher literally anywhere. They want your brand, your unique voice, and most importantly, the highly engaged, loyal following you bring with you.
To put the sheer scale of this into perspective, 200 million rupees, that is 20 crores. Sandeep uses this mind-blowing example. If you build a dedicated following and you bring that loyal audience to an institution that's worth 100 crores, they might gladly write you a check for 20 crores just to migrate your followers over to their platform. They are absolutely not paying for your hourly teaching time. They are buying your audience. And that right there is where real, exponential wealth is generated.
Section 4, edutainment and short-form content.
So how do we actually achieve this massive scale? We have to completely rethink how we deliver content. During the lockdown, this teacher actually recorded some incredibly useful basic math videos in multiple languages, but they just gathered digital dust. Why? Because traditional long-form content required tedious editing.
In fact, she didn't even end up uploading them because of all that friction. She completely missed the boom. Today's market doesn't want long, dry, textbook lectures anyway. People scroll to be entertained. The secret sauce is edutainment. Short-form reels that are highly shareable, grab your attention instantly, and sneakily teach you a valuable lesson while you're being entertained.
Okay, let's break down Sandeep's exact playbook for standing out, because there are literally millions of teachers posting content online right now. To rise above all that noise, you've got to follow these 3 steps. First, identify a clear gap in the market. Second, pivot your delivery straight to short-form edutainment. And third, leverage a universally captivating hook.
Section 5. Finding your unique hook.
Step 1 is owning your unique selling proposition. For her specific situation, the online math education space is overwhelmingly dominated by male teachers. That is a massive, glaring gap. Her USP becomes instantly clear, being a female creator who expertly simplifies complex mathematical concepts. It's incredibly rare in her specific niche, which gives her an immediate, natural way to stand out from the endless sea of male tutors doing the exact same boring whiteboard presentations.
But let's be honest, just having a USP isn't going to make you go viral. To make her content truly explode, Sandeep poses a brilliant psychological question to figure out the ultimate visual hook. Think about it. What is the one single thing that makes absolutely everyone's eyes pop wide open the second they see it?
Money. Plain and simple. It's human behavior 101. If there's a random blank piece of paper lying on the sidewalk, you walk right past it. But if that piece of paper is a currency note, you stop. Everyone stops. Money commands instant, completely involuntary attention.
And this is where the execution becomes pure genius. We call this the power prop strategy. Sandeep tells her to completely ditch the traditional whiteboard, throw away the marker, and drop the boring digital slides. Instead, grab a stack of real 500 rupee notes. Use actual cash to playfully teach fundamental math logic. Just imagine explaining fractions or percentages by physically dividing up real currency. It instantly grabs the kids' attention, and crucially, it hooks the parents too, because everybody cares about money. It takes a historically dry subject, injects it with universal curiosity, and visually, it looks completely different from what anyone else on the internet is doing.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a provocative thought about your own career or business. Are you stuck trading your limited, valuable hours for a totally capped income, fighting with everyone else for portal ratings? Or are you actively looking for your own 500 rupee note? That unique, crazy attention-grabbing strategy that's going to elevate you from just another freelancer into an exponential brand. Because the strategy is absolutely out there. You just have to look past your old experiences to finally see it.